Hi, it's Nikki. I'm on day 31 of my 100-day connection challenge to the self through meditation. And a bit later on in the day today, but I've literally just finished doing 2 hours of meditation. I try to do them, I try to do it normally before 9 o'clock in the morning because when I wake up I've got less thoughts going on in my mind, and usually it's a lot stiller meditation than if I do it later on in the day. But today was quite a still meditation, and also in it I received a lot of healing, which was quite relevant really to this week, because this week on Sunday had Darshan, which freed up a lot of pain in my right shoulder, so that's more or less gone. And then Tuesday night I had some healing off one of my friends, and both the darshan and the healing last night has kind of invoked a bit of a healing crisis within my body, where what happens sometimes if you have some sort of healing, because it accelerates everything, it pushes to the surface emotions or physical conditions which make you address something rather than brush it under the carpet. And for me personally, it's normally the skin, and that's what happens to me a lot. If I don't address something, it usually turns up as skin conditions, and that's been throughout since my 20s really. And then depending on what's going on in my life, if there's some sort of stress, it'll usually end up in a skin condition if I don't address it. I remember in my 20s, when I was less aware of what was, of how to address things a lot quicker. I had a period in my life where I had no skin from both my arms, and my neck and my face. It was that red raw, and obviously my body was screaming out at me at the time for me to address something, which at that particular time I didn't actually know what it was, because I didn't have the awareness. It was just quite a traumatic time, and I'd literally stopped smoking. I used to smoke 40 a day, believe it or not. And that was my coping mechanism. And when I stopped smoking 40 a day, it turned inwards and brought out horrific skin conditions, because that had no release then. And it was a process of, it really did throw me onto this path to be able to figure out what was going wrong. And now when I look back on my life, I can pinpoint every single illness down to what was happening in my life, and not being happy with it, and not feeling able to change it, because of where I was, and the limitations that I'd placed on the situations that I was in, not seeing the bigger picture. But now obviously I've got a greater awareness as to why these things happen, and my body is the first indication of something that I need to address. And with all the healing that I've had over this last week, and also really over this last 12 months with everything that's been happening in my life, the energy that's gone in has pushed things to the surface for me to deal with. Sometimes I don't get the answer straight away, but then it does become apparent as time goes on. So I like to try and address things a bit sooner when a healing crisis is brought on, because obviously I don't want to go around with skin conditions. so it's just having that greater awareness, and that's one of the things that we're going to discuss in next week's class, is awareness, and how you can have more awareness to the signs that you're being sent. So another one for me is coughs and colds and things like that. Usually when you've got a cold, there's too much going on, and sometimes an indication that you might need to eat a bit more healthier as well. Well, that's certainly the case for me. So that's what today's message is about healing crisis. And if you choose to have some sort of healing, whether it be Reiki or even a head massage or something like that, or even Darshan. There's a free Darshan next Sunday if you want to log on to it. You can either find it on Facebook or have a look on davidashworth.guru, and allow to surface what needs to for you to deal with it. And if anybody wants any help with that, you can always inbox me, and you know, maybe we can work together to bring forward what you need to address. So I'm going to leave you with that, with a healing crisis, and just have an awareness to, if something's happening in your body, that it's a universal message that the universe doesn't want you to take with you into the future. So to have the awareness to deal with it. So I will wish you all a good evening, and I will catch you tomorrow. Bye.